down, folks, and dim the lights. This is a tale for those who dare to listen. A story whispered on cold winds, carried from the old country to the cracked streets of today. It's about a young man named Liam, a lad with a heart full of desperation and eyes blind to the shadows creeping closer. Be warned, this isn't a tale of shamrocks and luck. This is a descent into something far darker. It was St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, a time when the world buzzes with green beer and laughter. But for Liam, the streets of his small town were grey and heavy. Jobless, penniless, he trudged home through the drizzle, his boots scuffing the pavement. His mother lay in a hospital bed, tubes snaking from her frail arms, the bills piling up like a curse. He'd tried everything, begging, borrowing, pleading with fate, but the money wouldn't come. That night, as the town celebrated, Liam felt like a ghost among the living. Then, out of the mist, a figure appeared. A man, tall and sharp-edged, stood beneath a flickering street lamp. His coat was black as coal, his hat tilted low, and his eyes, they glinted like embers in a dying fire. He didn't wear green, not a speck of it, and that alone set Liam's nerves on edge. The stranger's voice was smooth, like velvet over a blade. "You look like a man in need, lad," he said, stepping closer. "I can help you. Money, enough to save your mother, to lift your burdens. All you have to do is make a deal with me." Liam's heart leapt, but something cold slithered down his spine. "What's the catch?" he asked, voice trembling. The stranger smiled, teeth too white, too sharp. "When the time comes, you must pay the price. That's all. Agree, and the gold is yours." Desperation is a cruel master. Liam thought of his mother's shallow breaths, the hospital's relentless demands. "Fine," he said, barely a whisper. "I'll pay." The stranger clapped his hands, and the air shimmered. A leather pouch appeared at Liam's feet, heavy with coins that gleamed unnaturally bright. "Spend it well," the man said, tipping his hat. Then he was gone, swallowed by the fog, as if he'd never been. Liam didn't waste time. He paid the hospital, brought his mother home, and for a while, life felt lighter. But every night, he dreamed of that smile, those ember eyes, and woke with a dread he couldn't shake. A year passed. St. Patrick's Day came again, the air thick with celebration. Liam was home, sipping tea, when the clock struck midnight. The lights flickered. A knock rattled the door, slow, deliberate. His stomach twisted as he opened it. There stood the stranger, unchanged, his grin wider now. "The time has come, lad. You must pay the price." Though his voice cracked, the stranger's eyes flared red. "10 lives," he said, voice echoing like a cavern. 10 pure souls, virgins, untouched by the world. Bring them to me by dawn, or I'll take yours instead." Liam stumbled back, horror clawing at his chest. "You're insane! I can't." "You agreed," the stranger hissed, and the air grew suffocatingly hot. "A deal's a deal." He vanished, leaving behind a stench of sulfur and a weight that crushed Liam's soul. Panic seized him. He paced, hands trembling, mind racing. 10 virgins. How could he even... No, he wouldn't, he couldn't. But the stranger's threat gnawed at him. "Or I'll take yours instead." He saw his mother's face, the life he'd saved. Was it worth this? The night stretched on, hours bleeding into minutes. Liam grabbed a kitchen knife, not knowing what he'd do, only that he had to act. He stumbled into the streets, the town alive with late-night revelry. His eyes darted, searching, pleading with himself to turn back. Then he saw her, a young woman alone, swaying from too much drink. She was innocent, pure, he could tell. His stomach churned. "No," he muttered, tearing himself away. But the stranger's voice echoed in his skull. 10 by dawn, or you're mine." So time slipped away. Desperation clawed deeper. By 4 a.m., Liam was a shadow of himself, hunched in an alley, knife shaking in his grip. He'd found no one willing, no one he could trick. The air grew thick, the shadows twisting. Then, footsteps, soft, deliberate. The stranger emerged, his form less human now, horns curling from his skull, claws glinting in the dark. "You've failed," the demon snarled. For that's what he was. A fiend from the pit, masked until the deal was due. "Your soul is forfeit." Liam dropped the knife, tears streaming. "I won't kill for you. Take me if you must." The demon laughed, a sound like breaking bones. "Oh, I will. But first..." He snapped his fingers, and the air shimmered again. 10 figures appeared, pale, eyeless, their mouths stitched shut. "These are the souls I claimed before you. You'll join them soon enough." Liam screamed as the demon's claws sank into him, dragging him into darkness. The town awoke to St. Patrick's Day, none the wiser, while Liam's mother called his name from an empty house. So, dear listeners, beware the deals you strike in desperation. For some, prices are too steep, and some strangers wear masks until the debt comes due. Next time you walk the streets on a misty night, tip your hat to the shadows, and pray they don't tip back.